Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. I'm Rochelle Batiste with the details. The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SVG-TV, launched a Safer Building Program today in collaboration with the Caribbean Association of National Training Agencies, CANTU, and the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, CROSSQ. This regional initiative team, Build Safe, Constructing Homes for Tomorrow, aims to improve building standards and enhance the capacity of construction professionals and artisans across the Caribbean. It focuses on the safe construction of homes through the implementation of a code of practice for building. In her opening remarks at the ceremony held in Barbados, Dr. Nicole Greenidge, disaster risk management specialist at SVG-TV, highlighted the journey that has led to today's launch of the Safer Building Program, which she said seeks to encourage the adoption of safer construction standards across the region.
And so this launch is meaningful because we do want to increase awareness about this CARICOM Regional Code of Practice for the construction of houses, the CBQ that has been developed or revised rather to incorporate the guidance there and all the resources that we have. We've seen what Beryl has done in our Caribbean neighboring countries. We have Ms. Hull, Chief Town Planner here from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We thank you for making it out to come, but recognizing how important it is what we're doing. It's meaningful and it's essential that it's not the best kept secret. And so the launch is important to get the word out that these resources are available and to generate the demand for these products.
SVG-TV's Executive Director Elizabeth Riley emphasized that as the regional intergovernment agency for disaster risk management in the Caribbean community, SVG-TV serves as a facilitator, coordinator, and driving force for comprehensive disaster management in member states.
Disaster management, or CDM, addresses all hazards, all aspects of the disaster management cycle, and requires leadership by all people and sectors in building resilience across our region. We've been very pleased to partner with critical regional and development partners represented here today towards achieving the goal of resilience, particularly as it relates to the housing sector. Colleagues, the economic cost of disasters in the Caribbean has been substantial, exceeding $28 billion over the last 7 decades. Whilst hydrometeorological hazards are most prevalent, the region experiences a diversity of other hazards, including geological, biological, and man-made. And there's no doubt that climate change has triggered phenomenal changes in our weather patterns, and this is translating into severe and catastrophic impacts within our region.
Riley pointed out that some of the costliest disasters in the region include Hurricane Maria in 2017, which resulted in $1.3 billion in damages and losses in Dominica, the 2021 explosive eruption of La Soufrière volcano, which caused $223 million in damages, and a 7.2 magnitude earthquake in Haiti in 2021, leading to over $1.6 billion in damages. She stressed that safe housing is a basic need and a human right, foundational to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
Post-disaster damage and loss assessments reveal that in the Caribbean, a significant portion of damage from disasters has been in the housing sector. This has been demonstrated most recently with the passage of Hurricane Beryl, the earliest Category 5 system to form in recorded history in the Atlantic Basin, and which devastated 90 to 98% of the housing stock in Carriacou and Petite Martinique, sister islands of Grenada, as well as Union Island and other sister islands in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Colleagues, this is a repeat of history. In Grenada, after Ivan in 2004, over 90% of the housing stock was destroyed or suffered some type of damage, and approximately 40% of the houses were uninhabitable. Hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017 resulted in damages ranging from 70 to 95% of houses in Anguilla, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, the British Virgin Islands, Barbuda, and Dominica. And as a result of the Haiti earthquake in August 2021, 137,500 buildings were damaged or destroyed. Research shows that disasters impact people differently, and the most vulnerable are most affected. Persons of low socioeconomic status are likely to live in homes and in geographical locations that are more vulnerable to the impacts of hazards and therefore experience greater damage or destruction to their homes. These disproportional impacts are perpetuated into recovery. Following a disaster, people of low socioeconomic status often face many barriers to receiving aid to help them rebuild their homes and to meet their other needs.
Riley noted that much of the damage to the housing sector across the region could be avoided. She pointed out that the consistent application of building codes has been lacking, with weak or non-existent legislation to address safe building practices.
Poor building practices were evident, as was the absence of sensitization to safe building practices. So, the Safe Building Program is really designed to be a game changer. The program recognizes that a substantial portion of our housing stock in the Caribbean has been built and continues to be built through the informal construction sector, which does not necessarily adhere to formal building codes and standards. The Safer Building Program is a 6-week training course based on the CARICOM Regional Code of Practice for the construction of houses. The course provides training to experienced residential contractors and foremen in construction planning, construction materials, and construction methods, so that they can construct homes in the Caribbean to the highest standards that are less vulnerable to natural hazards. Advancing the Safer Building Program contributes to the achievement of Strategic Objective 1 of SEDIMA's strategic plan for the period 2022 to 2027, and specifically, it speaks to accelerating the development of CDM capabilities in our SEDIMA participating states. It contributes to Output 1.1.1, which seeks to deliver CDM programs and advance them in the states, and it is measured by an indicator, the number of participating states supported in advancing Safer Building Program, and this is by the SEDIMA Coordinating Unit. At the strategic level, the program supports the achievement of priority areas 3 and 4 of the Regional Strategy on Comprehensive Disaster Management, improved integration of CDM at sectoral levels, and strengthened and sustained community resilience, respectively.
The Safer Building Program, now in its third phase, contributes to safeguarding the Caribbean's infrastructure and building resilience, aligning with the broader sustainable development commitments and agenda of the region. There has been an increase in the hotel room stock here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by at least 500 rooms. This is according to Minister of Finance Camilo Gonzalez, who on Star Radio recently said this growth is attributed not only to the opening of Sandals, but also to the expansion of other hotels. He noted that these developments have significantly boosted the local tourism sector.
This year, 2024, we'll have added over 500 rooms to our room stock on the mainland. That's very important, because when you have more rooms, you get more planes. And when you get more planes, you get more passengers. And when you get more passengers, you get a greater benefit to the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we've been promising the airlines in the globally that we're adding these 93 rooms at the Holiday Inn Express, and they are very excited about it, because guess what? Not everybody can afford to spend $1,000 a night or $2,000 a night to stay at Sandals. There are people who want to come for Carnival or come for Christmas or come for a business event, track and field meet or something, and they don't have $2,000 a night to spend on a 5-star resort vacation.
The finance minister also pointed out that St. Vincent and the Grenadines can now boast of having a variety of hotel brands that cater to all budgets, ensuring accommodation options for everyone.
So the government is trying to hit different price points. We're trying to hit the 3-star, the 4-star, the 5-star. The 5-star is the Sandals, and we've attracted Sandals. The 3-star is the Holiday Inn Express, and the 4-star is the Marriott, which I'll deal with shortly. The Holiday Inn Express is going to open in November. It's in just about ready inside. All of the rooms are furnished, which means that the bed is in place, the couch is in place. But Sandals opened just this year, and then we're adding the Holiday Inn Express, which means, and other hotels have expanded, like Hotel Alexandrina added 25 rooms, and some of the other hotels have expanded.
3 years ago, the hotel room stock was just over 1,000, with most accommodations located on mainland St. Vincent. And Minister Gonzalez also announced on radio that the government will begin distributing prime grants to those affected by Hurricane Beryl on October 15th. According to the minister, individuals will continue to benefit from the usual disbursements, but the current focus of prime grants is on the Southern Grenadines.
There's a special subset of prime now for people who have been impacted by the storm. That subset of prime will begin its payments in October 15th. There is the regular tranche of prime and we pay out a few of those. Let's say every other month we pay out prime. Every 8 weeks or so we pay out about 15 prime recipients. So prime is ongoing.
Minister Gonzalez noted that many individuals have applied for the prime grants and clarified that the application must go through a thorough process.
Some people have a misunderstanding of prime, that once you send in an application you get money. No, the application is evaluated by a committee. We determine whether or not you have a legitimate business. We determine whether or not your business has a likelihood to improve or succeed if we give it prime, if you have a good business plan. There are various things that have to happen. So people sometimes say, well, I applied for prime last month and I ain't get nothing yet. But that's not, prime is not free money. Prime is an application and it's an investment by the government in your business, and we have to evaluate whether or not your business will benefit. Not whether you, Jules, will like extra $5,000 in your pocket, but whether your business has a greater likelihood of succeeding.
The government allocates $2.4 million annually for prime. However, an additional $2 million was included in the supplementary budget in response to Hurricane Beryl. In other local news now, we hear that the names of fishermen set to receive production support are currently being finalized for submission to Cabinet for approval, particularly for those in the Southern Grenadines. At a ceremony yesterday for the launch of the Safety at Sea training program for fishermen, Minister of Fisheries Suboto Caesar stated that the $2 million support is aimed at helping fishermen who lost their boats and other fishing equipment to restart their trade. He expressed hope that the support will be rolled out within the first 2 weeks of October.
We will be doing the direct production support in the sum of $2 million for the fisherfolk impacted by the hurricane, and we intend to have that done in the next 2 weeks. The question as to what is the hold-up, we have to, when we visited Mairo and Union Island, we hired 3 persons to collate the information. I spoke to them on Friday, and the information is expected sometime during the course of today. So then that list will be taken to the Cabinet, and when it is taken to the Cabinet for approval, then we will be able to provide the direct production support in the form of replacement of engines. Some persons will get new boats, some persons whose boats will be fixed. We have to fix those boats. So I want the representative here, Mr. Harry, to take a careful note so that he can take that important information to the different cooperatives.
It was noted that fishermen on the mainland were also heavily impacted. Winsbert Harry, president of the National Fisherfolk Organization, expressed his satisfaction with the announcement, but mentioned that many fishermen on the mainland are still awaiting confirmation on whether their names will appear on the list for production support.
The fishers was asking how do they benefit from the production support, how do they benefit from the income support, because we all know that Hurricane Beryl affect most of the fishing communities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We know the southern Grenadines was impacted the most. The fisher folks on mainland St. Vincent had their struggles in terms of the operation, because when the hurricane did come, we lost most of the fishing grounds because we go more to the Grenadines to fish. The market, access to market, they was all closed down. Storage facilities was out. There was no electricity, so we could get ice to go fish. So we had to close down our fishing operation on mainland. I really happy that the government could see income support for the fishers. I hope that most fishers benefit from it.
One requirement for fishermen is that they register with the Ministry of Fisheries and possess a fisherman's ID, which facilitates the process. In addition to production support, $12 million has also been allocated for income support for fishermen and farmers. Meanwhile, Minister Caesar revealed that his ministry has partnered with neighboring St. Lucia to explore sea moss production on the mainland.
For the sea moss producers, and I was in a conversation this morning with a gentleman from St. Lucia who should be joining us to see how we can explore the production of sea moss on the leeward side of the island. And we are already looking at the constituencies of Central Leeward and North Leeward to begin, and to come all the way up to South Leeward, eventually into West and East Kingstown. So that is in the
Sea moss production is already being conducted on a large scale in the Grenadines. However, following Hurricane Beryl, many sea moss producers were affected. According to the minister, his ministry will also be providing support to help these producers recover. Today, close to 2,000 farmers affected by Hurricane Beryl received their production support vouchers from the Ministry of Agriculture. The total production support is valued at $2 million and can be redeemed at the Agriculture Import Warehouse. Vouchers were distributed at several stations across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At the geese shed in capital Kingstown, farmers from Calico, Belair, Fountain and Kingstown came to collect their vouchers. SVG-TV News spoke with some farmers who expressed their happiness at receiving the vouchers, which varied in amount.
I get you a grateful for it, because I'm producing something destroyed. So I'd like to get the fertilizer, especially for start to have fresh all over again.
Well, the voucher we're giving, some people looking for money, they're really looking for money, they're giving you a voucher, good valuable, how much you might make. I find it's a good thing, better than money, where something where they give you value. Money is important, plant back your crop. But my voucher is haven't ready yet. They're paying for bananas and planting. That's what they say they're paying today.
I'm more satisfied with seeing more help from what they did give me the force. Because I'm telling you, I'm a fella I don't like to beg. You wouldn't catch me go to government and beg them for nothing.
Well, I might take more manual or some manual that's more important to me, and things like I may take gramazone to burn down the ground, so I don't.
The farmers explained that the damage caused by Hurricane Beryl was in the thousands, but most have already begun the replanting process.
When the hurricane, I did have a young field of planting there. Some could have cut and sun. So they didn't tumble out the roots. They just break because remember in January come up, they were dry weather. So the body didn't have that, you know what I mean? And so they just break. Instead of thing they just break. So I just went and cut them off and show the young ones, and I don't manual them, I didn't wait for them to give me money. I don't manual them back, look at them.
Planted, can get up in the morning, burn what I can burn, put some, I don't have to fold the spray can. I could half it and burn down the place, and clean it up.
Well, I had over, say, 50-something whole of planting. But I had zabukas and all, save and some peppers and blood. But most thing affected is the banana, because banana can't take the wind, they break them down. Some of them when they don't shoot. Yeah, I plant back. I plant back most of my planting them. So I take out the sucker, replant. I plant like 120 all over.
I come here, but I didn't go up in subject after how you have to come here. So I was in town last week before. So. Well, the bananas that I have now, I now plant some on some side. But they planted in them. Well, some we left. They was, up and so. But I decided to plant in some change about watching the weather. Okay.
Thursday, September 26th is the last day for the next distribution, which will primarily focus on banana farmers. Additionally, 219 arrowroot farmers collected their production support vouchers last month. In the 72 hours weather outlook, the SVG Met Services says moisture levels are elevated with scattered showers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It says a tropical wave is approaching the island chain and unstable conditions could support pockets of moderate to heavy showers with thunderstorm activity across SVG over the next few days. Residents and motorists in areas prone to flash flooding and landslides or near rivers and streams are asked to exercise caution. The forecast period further notes that fairly good visibility continues across our area except for reduced visibility during showers. A gentle to moderate breeze across our islands may vary from northeasterly to southeasterly in some locations, decreasing to winds at times. Sea conditions are slight to moderate in open water with swells ranging from 0.5 to 1.0 meters west of our islands and up to 1.5 meter east of our islands. Small craft operators and sea bathers are asked to exercise caution for northerly swells across St. Vincent and Grenadines during Friday. According to the SVG Met Services, a tropical wave in the eastern tropical Atlantic Ocean has increasing chance of development, and a tropical depression is likely to form in a few days as it moves west-northwestward over the Atlantic Ocean. The Met Services says it will continue to monitor the tropical Atlantic Ocean and issue updates or advisories as necessary. On the margins of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York City, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Republic of Zambia formally established diplomatic relations today, Wednesday, September 24, 2024. The historic agreement was signed by Frederick Stevenson, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Consumer Affairs of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Mulumbo Hamed, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Zambia. A news release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, SVG, said the milestone marks the beginning of a new era of cooperation and collaboration between the two nations, highlighting their shared commitment to advancing mutual interests on the global stage. The release says during the signing ceremony, both ministers emphasized the importance of fostering closer ties between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Zambia, recognizing the potential for strengthened cooperation in areas such as sustainable development, education, climate change, resilience, trade and cultural exchange. Minister Stevenson reaffirmed St. Vincent and the Grenadines' dedication to working with Zambia to promote the goals of sustainable development and solidarity. He noted that this new partnership represents an opportunity for both nations to collaborate more. Minister Humbert echoed these sentiments, highlighting the deep respect that Zambia holds for St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the opportunities that this new relationship will create for both nations. Staying calm is vital during emergency responses. This insight comes from Sergeant Corwin Ince of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force, who is also a fire brigade member and certified medic. He shared life-saving tips that individuals can follow during emergencies. Discussing the importance of balancing responsibilities, Sergeant Ince, a guest on the Police Beat program, emphasized the need for first responders to assess the situation to understand their role effectively.
knowing what we're supposed to do. We respond as firefighters and medics, but in our mind, we go out as medics, right? We have the basic firefighters knowledge, so we can assist if there's no medical emergencies. We know exactly what to do and how to switch our roles, but mainly we go out as medics.
Sergeant Innes stressed that maintaining composure is the best approach in emergency situations as it minimizes the risk of further harm or damage.
With the scene, ensure that others are not in danger or you're not going into danger yourself. Be very calm. I know it sounds crazy me saying be calm, but you have to be calm in order to respond to these emergencies, and also be very reassuring. Do not move the person unless that person is in imminent danger, unless you cannot provide assistance where that person is. Okay? And you're also going to try to be very careful when you're moving that person. This being calm will allow persons to think clearly and respond quickly. Right? Panic can lead to poor decision making. We all know that. And the body natural instinct to fight or flight in response can divert blood flow away from the vital organs, causing that person to make rash, irrational decisions.
Police have arrested and charged Michael Wilson, a 63-year-old welder of Level Garden, with 9 counts of theft. The accused allegedly stole a variety of health-related products valued at $670.23, the property of a pharmacy in capital Kingstown. The stolen items include nerve tonics, Fix-Up Health Collagen Builder tablets, Vitaplex capsules, fish oil, Dr. Chase, a nerve and blood tonic. The defendant appeared before the Kingstown Magistrate Court on Monday, September 23rd, and pleaded guilty to the charges. He was remanded into custody until September 26th for sentencing.